Recently, a guy asked, what's so different about a pit bull? He wanted to know why that particular breed is supposed to be so bad when there are much larger breeds that are even more powerful that seem like they could do more damage. So why is everybody picking on pit bulls? And he invited any pit bull hater to answer that question. What's different about a pit bull? Well, I'm not a pit bull hater, but I think I can answer the question. I think a couple of things different about pit bulls. One thing you need to consider is what I call the terrier factor. Pit bull breeds, they have a terrier. And what is a terrier bred to do? Well, if you've ever seen what terriers do, what they were bred to do, they chase stuff down, they grab it, and they shake it until it stops moving. And this is one of the reasons why the pit bull gets a bad reputation, if you will. Because when they do attack something, dog or human, whatever, they do a lot more damage because of this propensity to hold on and shake and not let go until, it's dead. And so that, of course, causes a lot of damage. And to give you an idea, the gentleman's correct. There are much bigger, more powerful breeds that could do more damage. For example, I have a 140-pound Great Pyrenees, and he's been attacked by a few pit bulls, and he had no problem handling them whatsoever. They were no big deal to him because he's a primitive breed that was bred for thousands of years to fight off predators and deal with bears and wolves and mountain lions and people and whoever tried to steal the sheep. So, in the few times, most of the time in those pit bull attacks, he just pinned them and they submitted. So I assume those were not really game-bred pit bulls because they gave in after they realized they couldn't win. But a couple of the pit bulls that attacked him did not submit, and my dog actually had to bite one of them. But when he bit them, he didn't bite them the way pit bulls bite. He just bit like a Great Pyrenees, which was, hey, get away from me. He bit the pit bull in the face and then he let it go. He could have easily held on and killed the pit bull, crushed his skull, broke his neck, whatever he wanted to do. But he was just trying to get it to go away. And that's the difference. Whereas pit bulls are known to not do that. They're known to bite and hold on and shake and do maximum damage. So that's what I call the terrier factor. And that's one of the things that makes pit bull breeds different, is if they do bite somebody, they're going to do usually a lot more damage than what most dogs would do. The other big thing is the bloodlines. You have to understand, the genetics, what were pit bull type dogs bred to do. And what makes them really, in my opinion, totally different than any other dog breed or any other dog or any other even wolf or predator is that all dogs, canines, all wolves, predators, any of the above, they all have a natural self-preservation instinct. And this is just, bred into them over the centuries, where they wouldn't survive to pass on their genetics. What I mean by that is, for example, if a wolf is out hunting and he sees a situation where he's really hungry, but if he tries to get that bear cub, he thinks that mama bear is probably going to kill him or injure him, then he's going to decide to go for something else that's too dangerous. It's called risk aversive. He's calculating that it's not worth it to go for that particular situation because you might get injured. And in nature, dogs know if they get injured, they die. Okay, nobody's going to take them to the vet. So it's their instinct to be careful, to be cautious, to be risk aversive up to a point. Not that they won't take risks, but they'll try to calculate, is it worth it? Am I going to get injured? Am I going to get killed? So they'll avoid those situations. And that's just normal, and Obviously, if you don't have that, you probably are too crazy to survive long enough to pass on your genes anyway. So it'll not get passed on, that trait, in normal circumstances in nature. Because, that doesn't allow you to survive if you're stupid. Unfortunately, the people who wanted to take sick pleasure in gambling on dogs fighting and that sort of thing, they wanted to breed that out of dogs. And you can breed dogs for any characteristic you want. And so they did. What they did was they wanted a dog that would keep on fighting through pain, through injury, and fight to the death. And so that's what they developed, over the years in breeding these so-called game dogs or fighting dogs. So your pit bull may or may not have any of that in his bloodline, but if he does, then, that's another thing that would set him apart from, other dog breeds that have a normal self-preservation instinct. It hasn't been bred out of them. And so those are the two big things that I think make pit bulls different than other dogs. But doesn't mean, most of them are bad. I'm not a pit bull hater. I think the only reason that pit bulls kill the most people and kill the most dogs in the United States, which is an indisputable statistic, is just because there's so many of them. It's just numbers. They're so popular. There's so many of them. And like all dog owners, most of their owners have no clue what they're doing and probably shouldn't have a dog at all, much less a dog that might, or might not be dangerous. So I'm Rich with Off Grid Dogs, and I'm crazy about you because you love your dog.